Today we will discuss what is internet. We have already discussed about internet and here internet and its services. So in order to give a definition in a one sentence for internet, we are trying for a descriptive approach. Okay, so in order to give in short we can say that internet is network of network. It is very complex and ever changing. Ever changing means it is usually undergoing changes in its hardware, software components, as well as in the services provided by the internet. So we are now trying to give a definition for internet in a descriptive approach. There are two ways to describe internet in a descriptive manner. The one way is to describe the nuts and bolts of the internet. The nuts and bolts of the internet means we are describing the basic hardware and software components that make up the internet. And the second way is to describe the internet in terms of networking infrastructure that provides services to the distributed application. So we are defining internet in descriptive manner in two ways. The first way is in the nuts and bolts approach. The nuts and bolts approach, we are defining the basic hardware and software used in the internet. And the second way is to describe internet in terms of networking infrastructure that provides services to the distributed application. Okay, so the public internet is a worldwide computer network, that is the network that connects millions of computing devices throughout the world. What are the computing devices involved in the internet? The computing devices were primarily traditional desktop PCs, Unix workstations, so that is also known as servers. Okay, that store and transmit information in forms of web pages or email messages. Nowadays, some non-traditional devices are also included in internet, such as the personal digital assistants, TVs, mobile computers, mobile phones, automobiles, environmental sensing services, picture frames, some electrical and security systems, webcams, even toasters or washing machines also are also part of the internet. These are the diagram of the cool internet appliances. The picture frame, web enabled toaster plus weather forecaster, then world's smallest web server, then some internet phones, both land phone and mobile phones are also included. Okay, so first we describe what is the nuts and bolts view. Okay, in nuts and bolts description, I told you in nuts and bolts description we are describing the hardware and software included in the network. Okay, so that includes both the traditional computers and also non-traditional devices. Whatever it is, either it is traditional or non-traditional, all of the devices that are being connected to the computer network or the internet is known as host or end systems. So the millions of connected computing devices that are taking part in the internet, okay, is known as the host or end systems. Okay, so each end systems are connected together using the communication links. These communication links include both physical media such as coaxial cable, copper fiber, optical fiber and radio spectrum, etc. Then at different links transmit at different speed. So the data rate this differs for different media which we are using. Optical fiber, radio waves, satellite waves, fiber optics, then coaxial cable, twisted pair is all are included in the these are the physical media included in the internet. So for each and every media, the transmission rate is or the bandwidth is different. It is measured in terms of bits per second. Okay. Then these end systems are not usually directly attached to each other. Okay, so in an internet we are communicating with the devices far away from us. Okay, so we are so all these devices which are involved in the internet are not directly connected to each other. Instead, they are indirectly connected to each other through some intermediate switching devices. These switching devices are known as packet switches. Okay, so the switching devices which are indirectly connects each end system to another. Instead of directly connecting two end systems to each other, they are indirectly connected. So one end system is connected to a intermediate switching device. It is known as packet. So the packet switch takes a chunk of information or a piece of information arriving on its one incoming communication link and forwards that chunk of information on and one of its outgoing communication links. That chunk of information that the packet switches transfer from one end to another is known as the packet. Okay, so the packet switches in computer networks occur in many shapes and ways, but two most prominent packet switches are routers and link layer switches. Okay, so each and every communicating devices are connected to the intermediate switches. These intermediate switches are connected to each other. As a result, the communicating devices connected to the both of the intermediate switches are involved in the internet. Okay, so from the sending end system to the receiving end system, a sequence of communication links and packet switches are traversed through the route it follows is known as the route or path through the network. Okay, so rather than provide a dedicated path between communication system, the internet uses a technique which is known as packet switching. Packet switching which allows multiple communicating end system to share a common path. Okay, then this end system access the internet through internet service providers or ISPs. This ISPs which we have discussed earlier, the ISPs are local ISPs are there, that is our local telephone or cable company corporate ISPs. Then universal ISPs such as ISPs such as T-Mobile that provide wireless access. Okay, so this ISPs provide a variety type of network access to the end system depending on the speed, including 56 kbps to different megabits or gigabits per second. Okay, so this end system, packet switches and the other pieces of internet run on obeying some rules. These rules are known as the protocol. So the TCP, that is the transmission control protocol, and the internet protocol are the two most important protocols in the internet. The IP protocol specify the format of the packet that sent and received among the routers and end systems. The internet protocols are collectively known as TCP IP, that is the transmission control protocol and internet protocol. Okay, so then the next Here we have the internet. Then protocols are developed by the internet standards, or the protocols are developed by Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF. IETF standards documents are called Request for Comments, RFCs. Okay, these are the internet standards. The internet standards are commonly developed by Internet Engineering Task Force. The IETF standard documents are called request for comments. So here these RFCs include the protocols such as TCP, IP, HTTP, SMTP, etc. Okay, so these are the nuts and bolts view, that is the physical hardware and software, that is the end system. Then end systems are connected through the transmission media. Then this end systems are connected to each other, not through the direct links but by some intermediate links which provide the packet switches. The pieces of information transmitted over that packet switches is known as packet. Then this end system access the internet through the internet service providers. For each and ISPs we are having some rules. Under this rules and standards, the rules are known as protocols, which is mainly used protocols are TCP and IP. Then here we have importance of the protocols, importance that everyone agree on what every protocol does. That is why there are some standards. In order to obey the protocol, there are some standards. This internet standards are developed by IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, and RFCs are requests for comments. Okay, so commonly we are using the term internet. It is for the public internet. Instead of the public internet, there exist different private networks, such as within a government office or a corporate company, etc. So this the peculiarity of this type of internet, privately owned networks, is that this host in that particular network cannot communicate with the host outside that particular network. Okay, so these private networks are often referred to as intranets. Intranets also use the same type of host, routers, links and protocols as the public internet. So this is all about the nuts and bolts view. Next we describe the service description. That is the second way in order to describe the internet in terms of networking infrastructure that provides network services to the distributed application. Okay, the internet allows distributed applications running on its end systems to exchange data with each other. This distributed applications include web serving, instant messaging or chatting, audio or video streaming, internet telephony, distributed games, peer-to-peer file sharing, remote login, email, etc. Similarly, these are the communication infrastructure enabled distributed applications. Then the internet provides two services to its distributed application. One is connection oriented reliable service and the other one is connectionless unreliable service. The connection oriented reliable service guarantees that the data transmitted from a sender to a receiver will eventually be delivered to the receiver in the proper order and it's in its entirely. That is, the data from sender to the receiver will reach the receiver in order, in the proper sequential order, and the data as a whole will be received by the receiver. But the connectionless unreliable service does not make any guarantee that the data has fully received by the receiver. So these are the internet service view. Then next we see what is a protocol. What is a protocol means the human communicate with each other using some protocols. For example, we start a communication using hi or hello. Okay, then the two persons are included in the conversation. First one ask a question, we are supposed to give the answer to the question. Like that the network protocols works. Okay, so the here instead of machines we are using instead of humans we are using machines. Then all communication activity in internet governed by some protocols. How we define a protocol? A protocol defines the format and order of messages sent and received among network entities, and action taken on messages, message transmission and received. These are the definition of a protocol. Okay, so this is the protocol diagrams. First here the human protocol and the network protocol. The high, then the communication or the conversation begins. Here also, in order to start a data transmission, first we the sender request a TCP connection request, then that connection has been established, then after that the data transmission begins. Okay, so this is about the definition of internet. Hope all are clear with the terms in we have used in the internet. Okay.